podcast, Shazza Comb. Welcome to Dare to Begin Life Coaching.
Hi, Despina. How are you?
We're good.
Hi,
We're privileged to have you again on. Thank you for joining us. And we're doing the topic. We're talking about the topic of battling to stay alive. And you've gone through quite a bit over the last week or so that's caused you a bit of strife.
Yeah.
So
again.
Could you tell us what's happened?
I went to work last Friday. I'm a hairdresser. Yes, I know we're in level 3, so I'm not breaking the rules, guys, because I work in a rest home and hospital. Just for the people out there that think, why is that hairdresser working? Anyway, I was doing one of my golden oldies here, and I just sort of got like these stabbing pains, little sharp pains in the chest, and I thought, oh, I don't like this. And as I progressed doing the hair, I thought, oh no, something's not right. So I finished her hair, and luckily I work with nurses, so that's, it's a good thing. So I went and saw the head nurse, Deanne, and I said to her, look, I'm not feeling good, something's not right. And I said, I think I'd better go to the doctors. So so I shot home, and a week prior, or literally 3-4 days prior to that, we decided to join up to St. John's so that anyone in the household for $100, which is really cheap for 3 people, can get a free trip to the I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's $100 a pop. So I just joined anyway. Fantastic. So I thought, no, I'm going to go by ambulance, because then you go straight in, there's no mucking around. So they came round and popped me in the back and checked out my vitals and stuff, and off I went up to the hospital. So from there I got all monitored up, the sticky tabby things, and then they put the heart monitor on, and when your heart goes out of sync, or the beat gets too high, then it makes these beeping noises. Beep, 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 beep. Really horrible way. It's like you don't want to hear the beeps.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then obviously I had a COVID test, and they put the IV lines in, and I thought, here we go. And as my heartbeat got higher, I got really scared. I got really scared, and so I just started praying, and I'm laughing about it now. I made God all these promises.
Yeah.
I'll never drink again. I won't do this, I won't do that. As you do, bargaining with him. Anyway, I was really scared, and then I just got this, I think it was him talking to me, and all I heard was, be still. And I just thought, okay. So I just started taking deep breaths, and I did. I went completely still, and I just said, okay, look, I'm going to have to trust you here. And my heart rate started going down, and it started to calm. And, it took a good 30-40 minutes, but, it calmed right down. So I was in there for the entire day. And, and then they gave me some Valium, so you can imagine I was feeling pretty happy after that. So that was that. Oh, they did a chest x-ray as well, because I had this like stabbing pain underneath my rib here. And so they did a chest x-ray to see if there was anything there. He did scare me a little bit, because they said, oh, it could be a blood clot. And obviously I've had the vaccination, and as soon as they said blood clot, I was like, not a blood clot. But I did fall down a bank a few years back camping, and I cracked 3 ribs. Wow. So they said I could have also, it could be the cartilage underneath that I've strained, maybe pushing hospital beds to the salon.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to follow that up with my GP. And yeah, I pretty much I spent a good 3-4 days just resting and in bed, and yeah, as you do.
And now
Great juice.
that would have been pretty scary. I mean, with the heart racing and everything. We just referring back to our last interview that we did, our last chat, our friendly chat, not really an interview, it's not. Our last chat, yeah, you talked about how peaceful it was to die and how peaceful it was. What was scary, because you said to me like it was scary this time. What was scary? Death is scary. I mean, we go into the end, but what scares you the most about being there in that bed? And
what's scary is when your heartbeat goes high or abnormal, and you've got to listen to the beeping, because when it gets the beat's not right, the machine beeps. So that, I think, immediately gives you anxiety. And it's a feeling that it's going boom, 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 if that makes any sense. And you can't control it. That's what is scary. It's like, I think,
the lack of control that you have over your breathing and
there's
over
nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And because of COVID, as George will know, with him being in hospital at the moment, you've got no visitors, you've got no one there to say, I'm really scared. And the other thing was, it was like being in some space, some weird movie where everybody's wearing visors and big plastic visors, and it's the whole situation in hospital now is entirely different to what it used to be, where you could have your family there to support you and make you feel a bit of comfort.
And also the social distancing, like the nurses and doctors must be so scared to even have contact with the patients, which is probably even worse.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, the one doctor, when the doctor finally got in to see me, he actually didn't wear a mask.
Okay.
Which really surprised me. He just rocked on in and started talking to me. Whereas the nurses that came in and put the IV lines in and put the COVID swab up the nose, they were all like fully visored up. And everyone was fully visored up. It was just, it was like being in some weird movie. It was just like, far out. This is, it was interesting because I had a good view of everything. If that makes any sense.
I liked what you said when your heart was racing, heart palpitations, and you were in a sort of frenzic, and then you just soothed yourself through going inward, getting in touch with God, and you that's a beautiful thing to do when we're like on a runaway. We've got a runaway truck and it's going down the highway at 240 an hour, and then you can't just say calm down, because you won't calm down. And so you actually touched your heart, you went inside, totally inside, and you calmed it down. How beautiful is that? And you got in touch.
I just prayed, man. I just prayed, I made so many bargains. It's like, Shaz, you can't bargain with God, but I do anyway.
You know what? God is so much love, and we're the judge. It's not him. I believe that God is not a judging God that will, and if we're human at the end of the day, so I'm sure he won't hold it against you.
Well, I've already broken a couple of those promises, so.
No, you're a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. And I know you're here to teach, and you're here for a purpose, and that's why you're in good hands.
Yeah.
I just want, when we're going through something so traumatic, there are so many layers that it affects. Like, you can go to the physical layer, and the physical layer is like the heart palpitations, the jittiness, the dizziness that you were feeling, you said. So,
and the shake, and you get shaky too. It's it's a horrible, really horrible feeling, sensation. It's
through that sensation, the physical sensation, the body takes over before the mind processes it. And there's a 90-second window where you can go into a panic attack, but you actually calmed yourself down, so you didn't sort of freak out.
The word be still,
Oh.
And I just thought, okay, I've got to be still. I've just got to be still. So I just did the deep breathing, and I just laid there, and I'm in my mind, I'm going, I'm trusting you, God. I'm trusting you.
Amen.
I'm trusting you here.
Amen to you, man. Amen to you. Beautiful. So once you've gone through the, it's funny what you're talking about now is this model I know, and it's a Christian model, and we use it in psychology, and there's a whole lot of questions you can go through it. It's called the Larry Crabb model, and it's actually in my book, Enough is Enough, and it talks about that. Thank you, babe. It goes through different levels. So, and like, you went through the physical shaking level, and then you went through the rationale. So, where the rationale is like taking logic, like, where were those feelings coming from, do you think?
I think we're frozen.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Hang on, you're back.
Yes, we're back. Yeah. Where were those feelings coming from? Those feelings of anxiety, that's the rationale. You're making logic, you're trying to find logic. So that fear, because you had experienced death before, so where were those feelings of panicky and, your heart racing, where were they buried in?
Well, I think because that's the area that I can't control. That's the area that's got control over me. So how do you explain it? It's something I can't control, so therefore it scares me. Whereas when I had the death experience where my heart had actually stopped beating, and then I passed over, and we haven't even got to that second story, which is another interview. By the time you're there, you're in a completely different realm. Okay. But what on earth, you've still got pain, sadness, depression, fear. Fear is a very strong factor. It's like when you haven't got control, and I can't just say I want this to stop. Yeah, that's where the anxiety comes in.
And it's interesting how you said that, because when you said you had no control, and you went off in a racing kind of, you went in overdrive, when you gave your control to the Almighty, all of a sudden there was peace. So there was no fear, there was no anxiety, there was no stress.
There was a little bit of fear.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Once I realized, and I heard in my mind just so strongly, just be still, be still. And it was like I felt like he was saying, trust me, I've got you. So that's what I did. I literally, if looking back at it, I probably went like a statue,
Ah,
I think I lied there and I thought, right, I'm just going to lie here and be really still. And then yes, I definitely, and then the heart rate literally on the monitor started to go down and the beeping stopped, which was really, really good to hear.
isn't that a message that we should all do, is be still and trust?
Yeah.
And so that was maybe a good message for controlling our anxieties. Yeah, sometimes we try to take over the situations and everything we're trying to control, but sometimes maybe it's good just to step back, let go, let God.
Yeah, step back, let go, let God. And also too, I found just breathing in, nice big deep breaths, breathing out, and definitely have a line out to the Lord, because at the end of the day, He is the only one that has control. And yeah,
Amen, soul sister. Amen to you, soul sister. Amen. Right. And and when we go in this model, it's called the Larry Crabb model. There's the next level, which we go down to the volitional, which is making a choice. From going through that experience, how are you different now to what you were before going through this whole experience of coming face to face with such a scary?
Well, because I had like a real major argument with God when my brother got murdered, and I just didn't want to know him. I was just like, how could you do this to me? And which just really, like, looking back on it now, it's like, oh, Shaz, But I felt very, very angry with him. And so for me, I went on a really rebellious period through my life, and I was just like, nah, I'm not dealing with God. And I also felt like every time I was Christian, if that's how you look at it, I felt like I was always under attack, constantly under attack, always something. And I just got so mad at God, and I thought, stuff you. And I yelled at him, and and I'm like, what kind of God? And I carried, without even realizing, I carried that anger for years with him. And then after the second death experience, which we haven't talked about, and just, I don't know, maybe he's reached out and he's touched me. I sort of got back and started praying again, and then one day I just said to him, look, I'm really sorry, and I want to try again, and if you're willing to take me back, after I've been such a cow. And I've gone from there, and now I just want more of him. And I want him. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to say it, because I need him. And when a person's in a life and death situation, be it you're drowning, be it you're in a mountain fire, be it whatever, I mean, you're not going to cry out, oh, money. All these people that don't believe in God, it's like when you're in a life and death situation and there's no one else around, you're gonna say, God, help me.
You're right,
because he's your last chance.
I mean, you can't. How expensive? Like, who said this? Steve Jobs, I think. He said, you can't buy a hospital bed. Like, how expensive is one hospital bed? Your money's not going to help you when you're, overcome the beeping lights and the hospital bed and all that.
And that's my biggest thing to people where, I've had so many people say there's no God. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, when you're in a life and death situation, mate, who are you going to call out to? I know who I'm going to call out to.
Yeah. And it's not Ghostbusters, eh?
Yeah, it's not oh, money.
Or Ghostbusters, as we said.
Ghostbusters, boom.
It's so you made the decision right there and then, come thick or thin. You decided, you found your truth, you found your purpose through this this traumatic event. You made the choice to be in God's army.
Absolutely. And see, before my brother was murdered, we were both Christians, and in my 20s, I was a staunch Christian.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, I was off to Africa, and I was gonna, go on mercy ships and do all of that sort of thing. And even used to say back then, beheaded, will be beheaded. Now I'm like, I wish I kind of hadn't made that promise, because if it comes down to it, I don't really want to be beheaded. What's happening in Afghanistan and that. But I look around now, and it's like, there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that everything that he has said is if anyone reads Revelations, it's coming to pass. It's all coming to pass.
It is. You can see it now in the world. So much catastrophe at every level. And even New Zealand, we thought that we were just so safe, no masks, no nothing, and all of a sudden, bang.
Well, yeah, none of us expected this pandemic. And I mean, even that I think that too brings a heck of a lot of anxiety to a lot of people. That pro-vax, anti-vax, get the shot, don't get the shot. It's already dividing people. You're not going to be able to go into a restaurant soon,
Yeah, and it's like the has not. It's dividing families, and it
is. It is, and these are very, very uncertain days for everybody.
And like you said, the simple thing of just lying, in the hospital bed, and everybody just wearing masks, and it's like you said, it was like a spacey kind of feeling.
Oh yeah, it was like being, I can't even explain it. It was like they had all these visors on, big plastic visors, and I was just like, wow, this is like a movie. It's real.
I mean, it must be real. I mean, this has been in movies, and we never thought that it would come to our time, and it's happening.
Never.
Just, you made at that volitional level, you made a decision to come closer to God at that choice level. We're going down a notch now in the emotional state. How do you feel about being a soldier of the Lord? How does that make you feel? Your gut.
Honored, but also it's I don't think it's going to be easy for us, and for everybody else that's going to be a part of this. We've got some pretty rough roads ahead, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't foresee what his plan is, but I definitely trust him.
And that came through in this experience. Be still, have trust, and that's how you were saved, you were healed, you were just be still and trust. That was the message.
Yeah, I reckon one of the hardest things for human beings is trust. Trust is particularly when you're in a scary situation, even more so, but trust it's a hard one.
Going down in our heart, because you went right down to your core, and we call this the koilia in the Larry Crabb model. You went right down to your heart of heart, and you went underneath all of your past programs, all of your all of this insecurities, the fears that were locked in there, and you brought up be still and trust. And that, I think, in itself is a real magical divine message. It's way up into another dimension, I think, that message.
Yeah, and I did, and the calmness that just came across and over me. I just thought, well, okay, all right, I will be still. And I think I went like a stick for,
Wow.
it probably was quite comical because I probably, like, but I did. I did. I just stilled. And then, like, yeah, my heart rate started going down.
Beautiful. Well, I think we've wrapped it up there. Just be still and trust. And I think that is the biggest message, the biggest gift, the biggest tool that we can. It's like a weapon. Be still and trust, and we will be okay. We will be loved. We will be safe.
Yeah, and I mean, I think one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Psalm 91, and it's like, I will cover you with my feathers. 1,000 may be at your left, 1,000 may be at your right, but you will not fall. The viper will try and bite you, but I'm not going to let him. And I always go back to that because that's always been my psalm, from, as far as I'm concerned, from God. And it's like, I've got to remember too, Psalm 91, Shaz, he's got you.
Yeah.
Just trust him.
Wow.
No matter how scared you are, just trust him anyway.
With all our heart, soul, and mind.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen to you, girl. Amen to you, soul sis. Well, I think that wraps it all up. Be still and trust, and you will be covered. Yeah. He's got your back. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything else to?
No, not really today. I've talked heaps. I've probably talked everyone's ear off. But
you know what? I can't get enough of your, what you say. It's just, it goes right down to my heart. It just touches.
Yeah, I just hope that people out there, that little voice you sometimes hear inside, it's like, just listen to it, because he's always trying to communicate with us. And he is always there. And I've done my years of being angry at God and blaming him for all the crap that's going on in this life. So from here on in, I just want to trust him, and I want to meet like-minded people, so it is what it is. Yeah,
You found the right group for that.
Boom.
Yeah, to begin life coaching. That is us. That's what we're about. And
absolutely.
We're so blessed. You're such an amazing person.
I'm blessed to be here too. So
likewise, eh? Oh, well, thank you so much for giving up your time and sharing with us these, really insightful, meaningful, personal experiences.
Yeah, thanks, Despina.
Love you lots.
Yeah, peace, love, and rainbows.
Yes, you do. Peace, love, and rainbows.